Hello guys, welcome to this video. In this video, I will cover the MySQL setup on Docker and Swarm clustering. I hope you enjoy. So let's start it, the Docker setup for MySQL. So I have a Docker file, Docker file for MySQL. Uh, okay, instead of MySQL, I'm going to use MariaDB. So it's a part of the package. Sorry, I misspelled it. It's MySQL, it's MariaDB. Let me install the MariaDB. So I'm going to build the MariaDB database now. So I'm downloading the MariaDB server. Yep, so MariaDB packages is getting downloaded. We can see the package total size is around installation size is 154 MB. Probably it will take some time for the installing it. Yeah, so okay. I think installation is pretty faster as expected. So I can build the MySQL database now, and I'm going to launch the container now. Docker, I think looks like already in use. Docker ps-a. That's -tp. Oh, okay. It looks like I've installed MySQL on my system, my MariaDB on my system, and disabling it. Now let's kick off the container. Okay, so Docker start MySQL. Docker and ps-a. So MySQL -u my server 192.168.1.23 and port it is test 123. Okay, let me get into the MySQL server. Docker execute MySQL -u root -p test 123. So create database test database app db test database already exists, so I'm creating an app db. So show database, you can see AppDB database is created. So in this video, we have completed the demo for MySQL database setup. And now you can see Docker listening for app, web, and DB. So Docker ps-a. So we can have a web server, an app server, a DB server running into a container. We can able to talk each other into a container. But this is not limited. So when we go to enterprise, so we need to scale up, scale down. We want to manage the infrastructure across various nodes. It's very important for us. So here comes a tool within the Docker orchestration. Like the objective of the orchestration is decide where to deploy the container, life cycle and health, scaling up, discovery, monitoring, security and networking, aggregation. So Docker Swarm is a native clustering tool for Docker. So users normally uses and Docker standard API. It uses a Docker standard API and other tools which are like Swarm. The other tools which uses for Docker API, you can use Swarm without changes, and you can also use Docker Compose. And Docker Compose. In this video, I'm not covering a Docker Compose. Probably I will add in the coming videos because Docker Compose is the easiest way to manage the Docker containers, and it is more advanced as a utility. It doesn't comes with the Docker installation. We need to download it from the docs or docker.com. And let me take you into the architecture of a Docker Swarm. The basic architecture of a Docker Swarm is one host running a Swarm manager, and each host runs a Swarm agent. The manager is responsible for orchestration and scheduling of containers on agents. You can see the diagram for the Docker Swarm. Docker Swarm mode is a container orchestration and clustering tool for managing Docker hosts. Docker Swarm mode is a native part of a Docker engine. It means you don't have to install anything except the Docker engine because Docker Swarm mode is part of a Docker engine. Docker Swarm mode is introduced in Docker 1.12. Some of the key benefits of Docker Swarm mode is container self-healing, load balancing, container scale up, scale down, service discovery, and rolling updates. So let's take you into the demo on to the Docker Swarm clustering setup. Okay, so I have a file which I created a set of commands. So let me add them. What I'm going to do is that is let me create a Docker init file from the master. Now I'm going to add this across my nodes. I have 3 node cluster, so let me log out from here to avoid mistake. So I'm adding it worker nodes to the Docker Swarm. So let me list. You can see the status successfully. All the Docker nodes joined to the Docker cluster or Swarm cluster. Now what I'm going to do is that is I'm going to build a container, and then I'm going to add it to the just getting up the services first. So now I'm going to push a web server container into the Swarm cluster. So in this thing, I'm going to create a service name called Swarm cluster with replica of 2 pods with Nginx. Now you can see the Docker, it's trying to kicking off the Docker Swarm is basically kicking off the 2 Nginx cluster. Now we can see that is get deployed. So let's use Docker service PS Swarm cluster. You can see Docker is up and running, and now I want to publish a port to the Swarm cluster. In earlier video we had it, but I'm not sure why the port is not taken. Let me check. So Docker service PS cluster. Now let me see whether I can access it or not. Yep, I can access the web page. So let me inspect the Docker Swarm. Okay, yeah. So port has been open and the virtual IP address is for this one is 10.255.0.16. We can see it is being updated with Nigix, the latest one, replica of 2. Now let me scale up the first thing is that is we in this video what we see is that is now we created a Docker Swarm cluster for two pods setup. Now I want to make an horizontal scaling. Before that, I want to kill a container first and see how the failover of service automatically happens. You can see I've killed a node 2 now. Docker kill Docker stop. So I can see whether it can spin up the container. Let's go to the node 2. Okay, so docker ps-a. Yes, so I can see here. Let me kill the container here. Oh yeah, for example, I let me reboot the container rather killing it. So I reboot the container now. Let's see what's happened now. Okay, so node 2 is down and slowly we can see it is getting ready on node 3. Yep, so it is says the state is shutdown state. Now I can access my web server on 23. Yep, so 21. So 22 is down. So they have also come back, I think so. Yep. So yes, so they have exited. Let me docker rm the container ID. Yeah, now let's check. Let's check the clustering now. Okay, the state is shut down now. Now, this is how Docker Swarm will manage the pods or the container. So in case accidentally any one of the physical server or node goes down, automatically it will try to spin up the container to other node. So it's basically failover of service, which we normally say in vSphere. So failover cluster on the and vCenter we normally have an HA enabled. So in case one of the node goes down, automatically the VM moves to another VM, other server. The same fashion it's get replicated here. So now I want to scale up my services. Let me scale it to 6. We can see the container is getting scaled up. So waiting for a second, couple of seconds. So yep, so ready. So we have scaled up to all these nodes, node 1, node 2, node 3. And we can see on each individual node. So PS clusters or Docker ps-a. You can see we got two containers here and on other servers. Yep, so you can see a Swarm cluster as enabled here. So I want to scale down now to 1. You can see it is done so quickly. Now I can see it is running on node 3. Yeah, so it's removed. Yeah, so it's removed and we have made it to 1. Now I want to make a rolling update. It's one of the good feature in Docker Swarm. So what we are going to demonstrate is I want to make any changes. Okay, so and I want to push it. I have a new container, a new code change on my container, and I want to push it. It's very easy, guys. So if I use service update on my latest container, so let's go to the Docker cd CentOS 7 iGix. So www we have an index.html. So let me say that uh, say hello Docker Swarm. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to make the Docker service update on my, let me build this first. Okay, so I build this. Now I'm going to publish this. So we can see that the Docker is trying to update the latest web server contents to the cluster. So in the cluster currently we are having only one node which is running on doc node 3. Yeah, so it is running on this server. So and let's see whether it is done successfully. Yep, here you go. So this is how the Swarm cluster is helpful in orchestration. So we can do the rolling updates very frequently, and we can make changes rapidly, and the developers can keep on code and push it to the servers and test it instantly. So guys, so you understood that Docker Swarm helps. In this video, we covered how to get the service up, how to do the self healing, how we can do the horizontal scaling, ups and down, rolling updates. So when we compare to Docker Swarm and other clustering tools like Kubernetes, so Docker Swarm has a limitation. It has limitations in basically on health checking, secret management, and when it go to an bigger infrastructure, Swarm doesn't have limited. It has a limited functions, and we won't get much features when we compare to Kubernetes. I will also prepare a video for Kubernetes as well. So soon I will post it in my YouTube channel. So all the best to you guys. Keep in touch with me, and thank you all.